Oh, Karen, please.
Thank you very much, Åsa. Yes, I didn't know what to put up, so I said I'm present at Nordregio, and the past I was at NIBIO in Norway, Norwegian Institute for Bioeconomy Research. I'm going to tell you a bit about our learnings from this TRIBORN project, as well as some grounded research on exactly what Margrethe was also talking about the quintuple helix we're actually into, and about innovation for people. To summarize what we have learned from the TRIBORN, we can say that multi-level governance to encourage forest bioenergy, which the TRIBORN is about rural development and innovation, using bioenergy, that is has to be based on sustainability, both in local natural, social, economic and environmental contexts. At the same time as we meet these RED 2020 or 2030 goals, in this case from Norway, but of course for the whole Europe as such. So it's about how can the local, how can regional authorities ensure these benefits. And we've heard a lot about the bioeconomy these 2 days. We know that they highlight focus on global and environmental aspects, like the reduced climate emissions. But we also have to meet the social aspects. It's about fairness, it's about inclusion, it's about quality of life, and it's about economic surplus and employment. Because the bioeconomy has to deliver to the needs of these small localities, to the regions. This is where the bioresources are located, this is where the people live, and that's where the bioresources are owned, and that's where they're used mainly. So we could say in the transformation we often see that we have forest owners, they are the local farmers. They might be co-ops, they are providing maybe wood chips if it's just for heating. And that is sometimes done by others, by entrepreneurs. They produce heat for elderly homes. And the forests also are used for walks by local school children, as an example, in the local community. So we are providing these small places with energy security, energy flexibility. We provide them increased production of environmental friendly energy. And we provide better jobs, incomes and quality of life, we could say in the long. And as I have short time, I think I'll just skip to the next one, which is why are we talking about social benefits as well? Well, if you look at the fossil economy and the bioeconomy, they have different structures when it comes to rights to land and its use. First of all, land-based resources and how we transformate them, whether they are wind, solar, soil, water. They've had some key characteristics which are making them, they're not pure market goods. Why are they that? First of all, they're limited. They vary across time and space. That means they differ between localities. That means they have competing uses, as we've heard. Due to this variation, because we want them either for food, for energy, for recreation, and because they also vary between localities, because they have different markets, we've got different infrastructure, we've got different climate. Also the locational rent vary a lot. Thirdly, land is essential for basic needs. All of us need the bioresources. We need them for food, water, shelter, recreation. Therefore, the distribution of wealth and the income or the capital in the local communities has to be thought of among the citizens who live there and of the different interest groups. And finally, they are often, in our countries, public goods, or at least contain significant elements of these public goods in the way they are used or transformed or even abused. So public decisions, regulations are very important in this area. Have a walk in the forest, use the energy from hydropower, fishing in the river, hunting in the mountain, eat the local food or berries. They all matter, and therefore we have to involve the local authorities and the regions to secure access, to secure right and or profit for everybody. So in this project, in the TRIBORN, which is funded by the Norwegian Research Council, We looked at different regions around in Norway, Sweden, and Finland, plus Italy, which I haven't shown here. And you see the regions where we did the research. North Karelia, I'm sure the Finns know about the success stories from North Karelia, where we looked at local innovation. Jämtland and Western Norrland. We looked at Randsfjorden, which are 5 different municipalities in Norway. Western part of Norway. I see I put the Vestlandet very wrongly, but I think you can all understand that, and Troms in the north of Norway, to get different aspects of how the locality matters for this. Anyhow, Margareta talked about the quadruple helix. We actually talk about the quintuple helix. And this is because who are the main drivers here? Very often it's actually the local authority who is the main driver between the success stories we have looked at. If you look to the bottom, we have the local raw material suppliers. These are often foresters when we talk about the forest-based bioeconomy. They can be farmers in Denmark. They often provide the biomass, sawmills, municipalities producing waste. There's loads of different raw material suppliers which we have to look at. Then we have to create the demand to have and that's where we have the local entrepreneurs who need the support. They're the key for the market. And they're sometimes the raw material owners, but they're not always. We've seen different cases in our... but then the local authority can act in many different ways. The interest by the local authorities, of course, within facilitation for the local community. They can regulate in different ways. They can, in Norway where you don't have district heating, they can prescribe district heating in the area, thereby encouraging bioenergy. They can demand it for all their public buildings. The municipality often employs about 40% of the working population in the areas. And in many ways they can encourage to make a green change. But these are not enough, the 3 players. As Margareta mentioned, the civil society, of course, being the voters, the ones who are the customers and maybe the users of the bioenergy as well. They're the people in the elderly home, they're the people voting for the mayor. So the local authority needs to be supported and has their ideas legitimized within the civil society. But also the raw material suppliers, they are the owners of the forest or of the biomasses, of the land, and the entrepreneurs who are owners of the different kinds of engines for transforming this bioenergy. But the last but not the least is the knowledge breakers or the expertise. And I'm not sure it's always universities. We have seen other cases where it can be local knowledge businesses, colleges, or even small entrepreneurs within knowledge who are helping to both school the local authorities and who are coming with advice for the local material suppliers. Because the key here is actually knowledge for this new, when we are talking about innovation, we are into a new area, so everybody needs knowledge. And all these different players here, the entrepreneurs and the forest owners, they need knowledge about this new area. They also bring knowledge to the table. But the municipality, what about them? Do they also bring knowledge? Yes, of course, because they are the one who have to secure the rights for the citizens, to secure the public interest are being considered also in this quintuple helix network. So they are a very necessary actor in many ways. And you could ask, maybe the municipality should even be in the middle. But the economic fundament, the market is the main driver, but cannot exist without these different institutions around it. Then there are different policies. And I think the key is that the regions in this and the national level has to help to empower these municipalities where the resources are owned and where the citizens are. So they have the responsibility for this distributed energy development, whatever it's within bio, wind or solar, and where they have the ability to regulate in different ways and create a demand. So they can facilitate for this collective learning in this quintuple helix in a bottom-up process. It's all about identifying who are the actors, who are the interests, building these, help to build the networks, help to create a trust among the different interest groups in the community, and ensure that all actors benefit from these joint activities. They can do, we know that the regions have successfully in many places dealt with climate and energy plans. We have heard a lot about the last 2 days. They can act as role models, but they can also help to identify where the knowledge, resource and gaps. What are actually the biomasses around there? There were some examples on that yesterday. And in the green branding of the municipalities. They have local authority, the regions, as I can repeat this, they can facilitate, encourage, make and regulate. Finally, there's also the innovation bodies. In general, they consider very often single entrepreneurs. They don't look at the whole picture, and I think there's a task for them there to deal with a larger network of actors being part of innovation in these rural areas. And they also have to experience track the experience and impacts happening during these processes. These are the key learnings from our research. I just wanted to, I know Margareta was mentioning the wind bio, which we are also part at Nordregio. I didn't mention that. But I want to highlight at the end that we actually also are working very academically in this issue about what we call inclusive innovation or grounded innovation. We have a special issue in the Journal of Innovation and Development, which will come out later this year or the beginning of next, where we have a lot of cases around the world. And if you look at the list down there, you'll see they're from Bolivia, they're from Russia, they're from Argentina, they're from India, different places which we don't think about thinking in innovation, in inclusive innovation and the bioeconomy, but they do. And they also fight the streamlined conventional thinking and all the investments in the fossil bioeconomy, in the fossil economy, in different ways, bringing different kinds of knowledge and interest to the table. So it's all happening out there, outside the Nordics as well. Yeah. Thank you.